Miles above the Earth's atmosphere, Shadow was in the Space Colony Ark, where he discovered a strange robot. "Who are you?" The robot remained quiet, and then simply repeated what it said to him earlier.
"Show me power, or I will not obey."
"What are you talking about?"
"Show me power, or I will not..."
Before the machine could finish, it was suddenly slashed aside by a blue liquid tentacle. One of the artificial chaos had entered the room. The watery knockoff was about to finish off the robot before Shadow suddenly jumped into the way. "Chaos Spear!" Shadow's signature energy bolt launched into the chest of the artificial chaos, causing it to destabilize and break apart at the seams. Shadow then turned to the robot. "Are you okay?" The robot stood there speechless. It was astonished by his power. "Come on, say something." The robot remained silent, but lifted up a finger, trying to point behind Shadow. Shadow turned around to see a horde of artificial chaos had entered the room. Shadow took a defensive position, gave the robot a sign to stand back, and then charged into battle. Shadow used a series of homing attacks, chaos spears, and even a black tornado to try and take down the artificial chaos. But he had to pull his punches, since he didn't want to damage the glass in the room, potentially launching everyone out into space. Due to Shadow's restraint and the sheer number of artificial chaos, they eventually pinned him down. One of the artificial chaos grabbed Shadow by the throat, beginning to choke him out. As his eyes began to close, Shadow suddenly saw another blue tentacle slash the artificial chaos in half. After regaining his breath, Shadow looked over to see that it was the robot who had saved him. He saw that its arm had become a blue liquid tentacle similar to the artificial chaos, and soon after being used, it morphed back into his normal armored design. The strange machine looked at the other artificial chaos and took on a pose identical to what Shadow had previously done, and launched a barrage of chaos spears at them. A good chunk of the horde were taken down, but there were still many more artificial chaoses. The machine lended Shadow a hand getting up before they teamed up to destroy the rest of the experiments. Shadow couldn't help but notice that during the fight, the tan robot was seemingly copying his abilities. Shadow was curious how this android was able to do that, but he knew this wasn't the time or place to figure it out. With more and more hideous abominations entering the room, Shadow knew that he would have to finish them all off at once. Using the 6 Chaos Emeralds Shadow currently had, he was able to easily transport himself, the robot, and the artificial chaoses into an area where he could truly cut loose. Once the artificial chaoses were surrounding the two heroes, Shadow looked at the machine. "Get down!" The machine took cover but still watched the battle. Shadow began to glow a reddish tint. Chaos Blast! Most of the artificial chaoses were destroyed by the blast. The rest of the artificial chaoses retreated into their puddles. All of them, except for one. A larger artificial chaos, almost resembling Chaos 6, suddenly attacked Shadow as he was weakened after the blast. As the experiment slashed at Shadow, the purple Chaos Emerald was knocked away from him and towards the robot. The machine grabbed it and suddenly absorbed the emerald into its body. With his newfound strength, it charged at the artificial chaos, knocking it aside, before grabbing it by the throat and declaring, "Chaos Blast!" The liquid monstrosity was turned to nothing but an evaporated gas. The machine turned to Shadow. Shadow smiled. Saved twice in one afternoon. I guess I owe you one."
"Owe you one! Owe you one!"
Right. Anyway, so you absorbed the Chaos Emerald?
Emerald! Emerald!
Lord, give me strength. Okay, how about I take you back to Orbot for analysis?
Analysis! Analysis!
Can you please be quiet? By Shadow's command, the machine suddenly became as silent as a stone. Okay, let's go. Chaos Control! The duo teleported off of the Ark and into the remains of the egg carrier. Orbot, are you here? Out of the shadows, the orb-shaped assistant droid leaped out of surprise. It seemed as if he had been interrupted.
"Oh, Shadow, long time no see."
I saw you just earlier today.
Right, sorry. I guess my servos are a little rusty right now.
The droid looked over at the mysterious tan machine.
What do we have here?
Well, that's what I wanted you to figure out, Orbot. It's a machine I found on the space colony Ark. It can seemingly copy abilities.
Copying abilities? Didn't you already find a machine that could do that?
Well, yes. Neo-Metal Sonic almost destroyed Sonic's homeworld.
Yes, he did almost destroy the world. Then you all stopped him. Which is exactly why you should look into this machine. What if he's capable of all the same feats as Neo-Metal Sonic?
Well, this robot's different. He saved my life on the space colony Ark. Twice.
That may be, sir, but you can't trust anyone. This machine could be just using you. I recommend you hand him over to me to be dismantled. It's the only way to ensure the protection of the world. Isn't that what Maria would want?
Maria would want me to protect the innocent, not pass judgment.
I suppose you're right. Perhaps there's a file about him at GUN headquarters. You found him on the space colony Ark, right? Perhaps that Batgirl could give you some access.
Not a bad idea, Orbot. I'll go find Rouge. You take care of our new friend here. Perhaps run a diagnostic while you have the chance.
Will do, sir. And don't worry, I'll take good care of him.
Shadow then turned to the childish machine. Obey any orders Orbot gives you.
Obey! Obey!
Right. Shadow quickly picked up one of the Chaos Emeralds and raised it above his head. Chaos Control! As Shadow disappeared, the robot turned towards Orbot, awaiting commands.
All right, let's see what makes you tick.